You on a computer?
I'm on my phone.
Man, your phone clear. What kind of phone you got?
The Galaxy Note 9.
You are tuned in to Mr. Q Show. Get plugged in, yeah. You are tuned in to Mr. Q Show. Get plugged in, yeah. It's time to relax from all the hype and grab a cup of the favorite tea that you like. On Mondays and Wednesday nights, don't forget about the Black Business Spotlight. You never know who you might see. It could be anybody, even a celebrity. So enjoy yourself, my friends, cause this is Mr. Q Show. Now get plugged in. Yeah, you are tuned in. That's right. To Mr. Q Show. Get plugged in. You are tuned in to Mr. Q Show. Get plugged in, yeah. You are tuned in to Mr. Q Show.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Mr. Q at the Mr. Q's Plugged In Virtual Show. And look, I told y'all tonight, look, it was a hard decision to talk about what we were going to talk about. We were going to talk about another subject, but I'm saving that for next week when I have Mr. George Lee on. But listen, y'all, tonight I got a special guest. I've been knowing this young man since he was a young man. And we're going to talk about something. And what better way to talk about it than to have a pastor on board that can understand what I'm talking about when we talk about what we're talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing y'all the pastor, Willis Brooks. Yeah, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir. Thanks for having me tonight, even though you threw a wrench in the program.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
man.
you threw.
I had to. I got,
Yeah.
you get tired of some stuff. You just get tired of, man, and you gotta let people see it a different way. Cause here's my deal. It's like this stuff goes on Facebook, on social media, and people just beat people up all the time, man. So I'm like, man, we got to talk about something, and I want to talk about it because nobody's gonna talk about it. They're gonna let it roll until it rolls,
So what you're saying? You trying to get me in trouble tonight?
I don't think he gonna get in trouble. I don't
It's
think
all
he
right.
gonna.
I like good trouble.
He like good trouble. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. So I see the people starting to come in. We got a few people in here. Let me share this video a little bit. But so I want to talk about. It's been like several situations over the past few years that targets the church, and what happens is the problem we're having is that when the church is being attacked, the church is attacking the church along with the people who's attacking the church. If you know what I'm saying. So
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
So tell me, why do you think that is? And why do you think that is?
Well, first of all, when you look at the churches nowadays, a lot of the churches we watered down the gospel because we want the congregation seats, we want it full, we want the choir stand full. So we've polluted the gospel to fit the people to scratch their itches rather than teaching unpolluted gospel.
And see, the thing is, what you're saying is we're allowing these things, but then when it gets out of hand, we want to beat down the same person that we allowed to do these things.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
So I talked about today. I put up a post and I was talking about I went all the way back, and I got to start back. I got to go back. I went back to Leandria. Leandria came in to Sunday's Best. Leandria was not in the church. She did not proclaim to be a Christian. She did not proclaim to be a believer at all. She came in for the contest. She wins the contest. All of a sudden, she's this new church idol. Then we see her drinking. We see her smoking. We see her cussing. We see her doing all these things. But what we say is, oh, God's still working on her. Okay, had God really started working on it is my question, because I think we put her there. She didn't ask to be there. We put her there. You know?
Well, that's our problem in the churches nowadays. We're trying to clean the fish before we catch it.
And you can't do that.
It's a process. We bring them into the church this Sunday. Next Sunday, we got them in charge of ministries because of their influence.
Yeah. And it's like I was watching somebody talk about Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin has been I don't call him an idol, I call him a gospel music icon for over 25 years, almost 30 years. Kirk Franklin, probably 30 years, because I was a teenager. And for years, he has been beat up, because he was trying something different. But see, I noticed one thing about Kirk. Kirk is smart. When Kirk feels like he thinks he's on a wrong path, Kirk can come back and let you know, hey, I believe in Jesus. I know who Jesus is.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal. We got a problem with that, because when he did Stomp, I remember, man, when that man did Stomp, the world turned upside down. Upside down, you turn me. They went upside down because, because for real. And he had what was her name? From Salt and Pepper. People didn't know, and you know what people didn't know? They automatically judged her and not realizing she had gave her life to Christ, and she wasn't even performing in Salt and Pepper no more. Found that out in the movie. So what we did was, because we saw Kirk Franklin with Salt from Salt and Pepper, we gonna judge him and say he going to hell. Oh, Kirk Franklin going to hell because he had that girl in his song Stomp. How do you know he wasn't converting her? You see what I'm saying? How you know he wasn't?
Church folk are real quick to forget where they come from. We have a tendency to, once we get a couple black suits and a few hats, to act like we ain't been there.
Yeah.
And so in retrospect, we push away folk and they don't even want to come.
Yeah.
But we Christians.
Yeah. And that's what we do. And somebody said we don't have the power to send. We don't have the power to send nobody to hell. Nobody. And you know, so let's go here. That same Kirk Franklin, who's a father, he got kids. You know, he got a son. I got a son. He got kids, right? He got a problem with his son, and they had an argument and all that stuff, right? His son just so happened to record him while he was having an intimate, personal conversation with his son. That's an indoors conversation. When grandma got mad at you and she cussed your behind out, she said, you better not tell nobody what's going on in this here house.
That show what happened. What happened in the house stayed in the house.
And if you did, you got your behind whooped again.
But see, that's the problem with this kinder, gentler world. Everybody's offended about everything.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they took hold to that. It takes a village to raise a child. Now you can't say anything to anybody's children because then the parents got a problem with it.
And then they want to hit you with that. Oh, it's a village. It's a village. And that's another look. We could go into that all day long. Cause listen, I'm telling you. But here's what happened. Here's what happened. When that child grow up, they expect you to get that child a getaway free. Forgive him, because he didn't know no better. You know, no, yes,
no. The system that goes back into what we was going to talk about earlier. The system ain't giving them no another chance. Once you in, you in.
That's it. And you ain't gonna get hey, they ain't gonna forgive you, you know.
Nah.
And that's why I say that's the mentality we got as people of God too. We don't want to forget these folk, man. So
well, it depends on who it is. We don't want to forgive them, but if you turn the mics on in some of our houses, you're gonna hear the same thing, if not worse.
Man, look, and people don't want to admit that. I saw a preacher talk about Kirk Franklin, and he was wrong. Yes, I say this. Yes, he was wrong the way he talked to his son. Yes, he was. But his son was also wrong for letting that come out the house. Because I know that there's a scripture that talks about it talks about you being outside the house, something that's done out in the open that could offend your brother. And basically people were upset because Kirk, he gonna get and apologize to us, apologize to God. He apologized where he committed the sin, basically. Right? Am I right?
You're correct.
He committed it in the public, and in the public's eye, he came out and he apologized to the public. But everybody's like, well, he didn't repent to God. How you know he didn't repent? How you know he did not repent to God? How you know that? If he repented to us, I'm sure he repented to God, because it's harder to ask us for forgiveness than it is to ask God for forgiveness. I can ask God for forgiveness right now, and nobody knows.
Well, see, the thing is too, you got to understand, in back in the day when folk messed up, they brought them before the church.
Yes, they did.
And they condemned whatever it is they were doing. And we've gotten away from doing that for more reasons than one. One reason being, when Christ died, it said he ripped the veil in two. Therefore, the intercessor was no longer needed. So we can go straight to Christ. And the problem with today's church. Now, don't get me wrong. You have folk that are really genuine about helping someone get delivered. But nowadays, people don't want to go to other people in the church, because if they go to them, their business is going to be all out in the street before they get the benediction.
And you know, I talked about that the other day, man. I was like, where are the brothers that you can talk to? Where are the sisters that you can talk to and them not judge you? Or not necessarily judge you, but they not take what you said. Man, I had this conversation with somebody that I know. I had this conversation. I said, here's the problem. You thought you could go to your brother and talk to him. If I can't come to you and talk to you, and if I can't go to my dad and talk, if I can't go to my, what I'm gonna do? People would literally explode if they can't talk to somebody. Kirk probably couldn't talk to nobody because you know what I'm saying? So here's the deal. Like I say, and what scripture is that? We're gonna find some scriptures tonight for these folks. What's that scripture when it say you can go to your brother? What is it? Confess thy faults.
I'm trying to find it for you, because I don't want to misquote it.
Yeah, I don't want to misquote it either. You misquoted. They said that you don't supposed to do that.
And well, the problem is they got us on this pedestal, and as soon as we don't live up to what they.
Here we go, Doc. I found it. It's James, one of the scriptures, James 5:16, and it says, confess your trespasses one to another, and pray for one another that you may be healed. The effective, fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much. It said, confess your trespasses one, and that's what Kirk did. But we can't do that no more, man. You hey, if you do that, they gonna remind you what you did 10 years from now. They gonna remind you what you did.
10, they gonna go back 20.
Joy said discernment is the missing link in the body of Christ. And Joy, Pastor was just talking about that. We just throw anybody in the church now. We just anybody.
Well, because we are more, our churches nowadays are becoming more of an entertainment center rather than a place where people go and get enlightened and get the church should be looked at as a hospital, but now it's more so of a comedy show.
Yeah. And you know what else? People are not the intimacy. People don't even respect that no more, man. You remember when the lady confessed on the video and she talked about how she was a prostitute. She thought you remember that video? She thought she could come to the church and tell these people, I used to do this. What did we do?
We snatched the mic from her.
Yeah. And then we put it on Facebook and let everybody hear it and made fun of her. You know? Little dude said, I'm not gay no more. I've been delivered. And we thought it was funny. He became a celebrity because we made fun of him. Because I think he was serious at that time. But guess what? We made fun of him.
Well, it's a joke nowadays. And the reason a lot of it is a joke is because when you look at all these different organizations, and we're not gonna call them out.
Yeah, don't call them out, Faust.
Yeah, but when you look at all this stuff, they're fighting for what they want.
Yeah.
But what is the church doing?
Yeah.
We're accepting everything they push our way.
Yep. Here, eat this. And I'll tell you this. I told somebody the other day, I said, let me tell you something. If this was a certain group or organization, no matter who it is, guess what? They're not going to stop until they get what they want. They're not going to stop. What we do is we let this stuff go. We let any and everything go on. And Joyce said the world laughs at the church. They do. And you know what? Pastor Willis, I saw this. Watch this. I saw this. I saw a lady shouting in church, right? And she was getting prayed for. They tagged it, put it out on the internet. You know what they did with it? They put a hip hop beat to it and made fun. And guess what we do? We share it. Boom, 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 boom.
But
boom.
You know why they sharing it and tagging it and making a joke out of it?
Because we allow them to.
Because we allow them to, and we're doing the same thing in the church.
Yeah. And you know, we got our phones out. We doing this the whole time. And you know what? I don't have a problem. If it's a group singing or something, I might video them. But when it's the intimate time, when people are having that personal time with God, and they trying to at the altar, and they trying to, you know, confess. Why are you doing this? It's the first time. And then because you think you're gonna catch something.
You can't do anything nowadays without being caught on video. You right, Miss Ransom. They can laugh all they want to, but when you, like the old folks used to say, you got to know that you know that you know.
That you know. Your wife said there is no differentiation between the world and the church. You're right. You don't know the difference. You don't know the difference. And you know, my Bishop Williams talked about this one time. He had to tell us, do not pick your phones up if somebody is confessing it. Don't put your phones out at all, because you never know what may happen. And so we're gonna talk about this right here, though. I'm gonna make it even thicker for you, Pastor. Just the other day, I was sitting up here looking at Facebook. I didn't know who they was talking about. I just seen people posting a picture of this man named Derek. I don't know who Derek is. So then I started researching, who is Derek Jackson? Supposedly Derek Jackson is a minister. I'm not going to put his picture up. I'm not going to be petty like that. And some people probably, wait, let me see his picture. I'm not doing that. I'm going to just say his name. Anyway, he was sitting on a video with his wife. I don't know the whole story. I just know what he did was he talked about how he repented to his wife and he repented to God. That's what he said, right? We beat him down. It's probably a stunt, and he lied, and he this, and then but see, watch this. I'm gonna show you what they did. I'm gonna show you what he did. He went on, and then he looked at his own video and commentated his own video, whatever they called it. And here's my deal. This is what happens. I believe this. I believe he's a life relationship coach. Okay, he's a relationship coach that screwed up in his relationship. That's what he was. How many people I know pastors personally that were
you too.
Look, I know. Listen, I know. I knew.
We. We place pastors and preachers on such a high pedestal that when they do fall,
they fall a long way.
They fall a long way. We forget that they're just as human as us. Yep. Now, I will say, it is my personal belief that as a pastor, there's just some things I ought not be doing.
Exactly.
Simple, plain and simple as that. But we are human.
Yeah, and you don't make it up. And if you listen, I tell people all the time. Watch this. We gonna go back biblical because we're gonna talk about biblical stuff this time. Okay, David was an adulterer. David was an adulterer. They laughed at Kirk Franklin and said he shouldn't apologize, and they said it was just a hoax that he apologized in public. Why did he apologize in public? David not only apologized to God, but he put it in a book called the Bible, so the whole world saw the Psalms that he wrote repenting to God. He said, "Purge me with hyssop, that I shall be clean." That's what David said.
That's what he said.
And he documented it in a book. So we read this stuff. So we watch this man. He don't even know us. We don't even know him. But whenever till the time this world is over, we still gonna see his confession in the Bible. We're gonna see his confession in the Bible. We had who else we had? We had Saul, killed all them folk. Saul was killing all them folk. You know.
But at the same time, when people mess up, we don't realize how much our mess up can help somebody else. Right. But we allow our pride or shame, so to speak, to keep us from putting that information out there.
Yep. And see what they said was somebody say he shouldn't be talking to us about no relationship. He couldn't keep the magic word. That's right. Flesh is flesh. Kill it. The magic word is couldn't keep his together. They didn't say he can't. They didn't. Oh, he shouldn't talk to us because he can't. They say he shouldn't talk to us because he couldn't. How does an ex-drug addict talk to other people who are using drugs and tell them not to use drugs? Because he has an experience with those drugs.
I tell folk all the time, even in my ministry, I have people on my at my church, associates that are not even just associates, but I have members that are ex-alcoholics or ex-this. I can't talk to you about being an ex-alcoholic, but I have people that can. Mm-hmm. I can't talk to you about being a drug addict because I've never experienced that. But when it comes to being a player from the Himalayas, I can tell you how to leave that thing alone.
You can tell them. And
look, I've had experience with it.
You ain't the only one that can tell them. But go ahead.
And truth be told, some folk can tell them because they still on that side of the fence.
They still a player from the Himalayas. And why they in the Himalayas? They still in the Himalayas. They're not just a player. They still in the Himalayas. You know what I'm saying? So here's the deal. I tell people all the time. See, a lot of people try to go to that scripture where it say, how can you tell a brother that he got a splint in his eye when you got a mote in yours? That's what it's saying. If he's still in that position, he can't tell you. He can't tell you. You can't tell if I got 15, 16, 17, 18,000 honeys on my side, and I'm smoking and I'm drinking and I'm getting out there getting down. And look, if I'm at the club with you, with the malt lick in my hand, you know what I'm saying, and I'm getting down, and I know I gotta preach Sunday morning, I can't preach to you if we in the same. But look, if I come in there and I'm not doing those things, and I walk up to you and say, hey man, let me tell you something. I used to be in here doing this like you. Let me talk to you for a second. Come on, let me talk to you. That's a difference. See, that's two different things. Cause I had a guy tell me, no, you got to get down there with him. And no, you don't. You don't get down there with him. You reach down there. Hey, you reach down there and pick them up. You don't get down there with them because you both gonna be stuck.
That's why me myself personally, even now, say for instance, I do a wedding, and I show up at the reception to do the prayer and whatever. But before they go to doing their thing,
you burn off.
I leave.
Because you don't
for a couple reasons. One, I don't want it to get out to say Pastor Brooks is in there doing this.
Yeah.
And then two, you got to pray for me. If the right song come on,
your feet go get the tapping.
Your feet gonna get the tapping.
Listen here, I'm a videographer, man, and I do these weddings and receptions. I'm gonna tell you, when they say cash money from the 1999, when he say cash money from the 99 to the 2, my camera get the movie. I'm like, wait. You know, and look at Q, he getting down. He telling us not to get down. He getting down. You know what I'm saying? But hey, how many people can tell you they had those issues? And some people pretend like they don't. Pretend like they don't have those issues. Hey, man, look, my friend, Dr. Phillip. Hey, Phillip, you can come on anytime you want, man. Hey, you can come on anytime you want, son. I'll send you the email. I'll send you the email link right now if you want to come on. But hey, I'm telling you, Pastor Brooks, man.
Man, I used to be that person. Being in the ministry, you know, I started preaching at 14.
Yeah, you was young.
Got married young.
Yeah.
So everybody had this expectation of me. This is what it should be. So when I hit rough waters, I didn't go to anybody because of the simple fact I'm looking at they've got this expectation of me. Now, if they know I'm going through hell and high water, is their expectation gonna drop, or they gonna think differently of me? So I felt like I had this image to uphold.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. I tell people all the time. It's like hey, Pastor Phillips, inbox me your email. Inbox me your email address. I'm gonna bring you on the show. You ready? Inbox me your email address. I'm talking. You know Pastor Phillip Higgins? Yeah, he preaching Huntsville. Really good guy. So, and that's what I'm saying, man. And it's like when you fall, you catch more than hell.
When you fall, they throw fuel on the fire.
And they sit back waiting on you to fall.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal. When they fall, they want you to go ahead and tell it. You go ahead and tell it.
I had a situation. I'm not gonna call names. Had an individual in the church fall. They wanted to crucify him.
Yeah.
The tables turned. Somebody else fell the same way.
Yeah.
They tried they hardest to keep it a secret. Because different strokes for different groups of folks.
Exactly.
It's okay. It's okay when it's my people, or if it's somebody in our circle. It's okay if they doing it. But as soon as somebody else doing it, oh no, that's wrong.
Yeah, he did it. So we gonna give him a pass. I'm gonna tell you this. I remember. I'll tell you this. I remember when I had my oldest boy, and I was in college, and I ain't scared to tell people I was in college, and my oldest boy was born. And when my oldest boy was born, I mean, I caught everything. I was going to hell. I was a bad boy. Take him off the drums. Take him off. Hey, look, if that's what you need to do to me, that's fine. That's fine. But the people that was saying it, listen, man, let me tell you. Look, I'm finna get real deep on you.
Was the pot calling the kettle black?
The pot was calling the kettle black, man. The hit dog was hollering. That's what was happening. The hit dog was hollering. And I'm telling you, man, it's like they did that to me, man. And I was like, you know what? Wait a minute. Ain't you the same one that was down there doing the itsy skitsy and got caught? And you gonna sit up here and man, look.
I tell folk all the time, you never experience hurt until you get hurt at church.
Yeah.
Cause church folk, boy, they something else.
They're not gonna let you live.
They something else.
And not to mention the jealous ones, the ones that don't like you, man, they will set you
up. Don't go there. We'll be here all night.
They will set you up. Listen, they will set you up and this that forgiveness thing. Put you out there just because they mad at you. They will put you out there, set you up. But then I tell people all the time, your closet ain't clean either. My grandma used to say, baby, make sure your closet clean. Your closet ain't clean. I ain't know what she meant. But your closet ain't clean either. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, and if your closet ain't clean, you might want to shut your mouth. That's why I told somebody, I said, man, hey, back in the day when I used to hear stuff, I shut up. I was like, I don't want my name in nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what I did Saturday before I came to church. I'm in high school. I'm in college. I know what I did. I'm not finna. No, sir. I gotta ask God to forgive me. That's why when you see me 9 times out of 10, I'm running 2 deep. Well, 3. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because the less folk you fool with, the less drama you got to deal with. You know, we sit here at this house, and me and my wife, we sit here, and we just sit and watch. We sit and watch. We sit and use discernment every day. And I tell her, I say, hey, a lot of times we just got to sit and watch. Don't say nothing, because if we say something, it's gonna pop up. Hey, I got somebody coming in right now. Look, we got them on. There he is. Look at him. Pastor Hagens, what's going on, doctor?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. This Pastor Brooks up here in the corner over here. Nice to meet you, Pastor.
How you doing, Pastor Brooks? You look at y'all excuse my little wife shirt.
Hey, you know it's women's on here now. You tell your wife to get a jacket. Hey, Q, that just gonna give them something else to talk about. Oh, yep. That pastor's on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it close to my face.
Hey, that pastor was on there showing his chest.
Yeah, man. You know we don't. It don't take much for us to go to talking, man.
Hey, look here. that pass in Huntsville, he didn't show his chest. He trying to model on Facebook.
Yo, with his chain on. Hey, Pastor one chain. He got a chain on his neck. But Pastor, I know you know we've been talking. And man, we talking about God forgiveness versus man's forgiveness, because we done had a lot of stuff going on, and I forget how Pastor Brooks said it. I call it selective forgive. We forgive who we want to forgive, you know. And we was talking about us, you know. We can't, like, it's like we can't sit up and judge somebody else and not judge but beat them down. And we done the same thing they done. We just not doing it no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem we got. I know you see it. You're a pastor. I know you see it. I know you see it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Man, I tell folk all the time, don't get beside yourself. You ought to think because of and talk down on somebody from where they at right now. You ought to thank God for what you haven't had to do or hadn't done yet.
Man.
Because I'm a firm believer. You put anybody in the right situation, ain't no telling what may happen.
Man, if my grandma said if they think they can get away with it, they gonna do it. If they think they what he say? What Pastor say? What you think about that, Pastor? If they think they can get away with it, they gonna do it. And you know what I think? This is what I seriously think. I think the devil got a sense of humor, because he'll sit up there and let folks talk down on somebody. And next thing you know, guess what? He gonna hit them with the same temptation. Oh, you won't talk. Let me see what you gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Then boom. You know,
but see, he ain't gonna hit you where he know you strong at.
Yeah.
I use me for example. You know I like my toys.
Oh yeah, man. He talk about Pastor. Yeah, go ahead.
So love him to death. Now he ain't gonna tempt me with nothing else, but he'll tempt me knowing I'm trying to save a little change. I walk into the store, they got what I've been researching and looking for up on the shelf.
He know it's there.
He know it's there.
You know, my daddy said one time, he said, look, he said the devil ain't gonna tempt an alcoholic with robbing somebody. He ain't gonna tempt the alcoholic with bank robbing the bank, because that ain't what he want to do. He gonna tempt you with that whiskey bill.
That's it. If he know you got a wandering eye, he gonna send that sister in there with that tight short dress on.
She gotta look the right way though. She gotta look the right way. He ain't gonna tempt you. He ain't gonna tempt you with the wrong one. He gonna tempt you with the one that you know what you want to see, and he gonna be like, oh, okay, he don't want to see that one. He won't see that one.
Yeah, buddy.
And you gonna turn all the way around. That's what he do. But see, here's the deal, and people don't understand that. You may not be like Kirk Franklin. You may not talk to your child like that, so you might be like, I ain't gonna cuss my child out. But hey, you might have another weakness that might get exposed.
Ooh, what you say?
You know what I'm saying? You might
what you say?
Weakness. You might not like women.
That's a problem in itself.
You might have somebody else in your inbox that talks like this. Huh? So you can sit up and oh, I seen Mr. Q look at that woman. You didn't look because you was looking over there at the dude that was walking with him. Man. But your plan may be different from mine. That's what people Pastor, what you think? You down there quiet, Pastor Hagen. What you think, man?
I'll say it like this here. From a biblical perspective, man, it all comes down to the fact that, as the scriptures say, we were born into sin, we were shaped in iniquity, right?
Right.
And so with that being said, because of Adam succumbing to what Eve did when she ate of the fruit. He ultimately ate of the fruit. God cursed them. We were born with a disposition to please ourselves. And just like you two brothers have put it, different people have different wants. Different people have different issues. Here it is. Here it is. Let's just be, so we this is a transparent studio, right?
Go for it. Go for it.
Go for it.
And so let's be real. I don't like little boys or little girls. But there's somebody that has a proclivity for little boys or little girls.
Wait a minute. Say that word again. Proclivity.
Yes.
You need to break it down a little farther.
There's somebody that have that desire.
Yeah.
They have that want, that yearning. I don't have that.
Yes, sir.
I think that's sick, as a lot of people do. I think it's sick and it's gross. But there's some people, let's just be honest, as sick as we think it is,
Some people love
there's
it.
some people that are born with that desire. And you know what? Some of them know it's not right, but they can't help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just like some of us know it ain't right to look at another woman.
Can't
Help ourselves.
help.
Just like some of us know it ain't right. We in the studio now. We gonna be real. I ain't in front of the pulpit.
Go ahead.
Some of us know it ain't right, and we wouldn't openly and earnestly testify. But those of us who like women that are heterosexual men, if the right woman came along
And
was in and we were in I still, because we on Facebook, I still got to see it in it. I got members.
Hold on.
Members.
Tough spot.
So yeah, so
You in a tough spot.
I can't say it like I would if we were just talking offline.
If you were
we get you.
I put like this here. If we were in a compromising position and the right woman came along, or the wrong one came along, and nobody else was there but just that one woman, how many people can say that they would say no?
Like that. No.
The Lord is my light and my salvation.
Whom shall I fear?
The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, woman, you're wicked. You trying to come upon me and eat up my flesh. You know what we'll do? We will stumble and fall.
And Pastor, you know what? And you just said, if you're in a compromising position, how did you get in that compromising position?
You can't forget this.
Yeah. How did you get in that position? You put yourself down.
You put yourself down.
That's what I'm saying. You put yourself down. And there are people that are putting themselves down, but they talking about the people who didn't really put themselves there. It just like let's talk about Kirk Franklin. When Kirk Franklin cussed that boy out, his son put him there on the internet. Yeah. His son brought his insides out. He brought it out of there. Kirk Franklin didn't plan to cuss that boy out. But what we do? Oh yeah, he gonna go to hell because he cussed it.
Or he ain't no real Christian.
Yeah, he ain't no real Christian. But
let me tell you something I learned. And I bless the Lord for this teaching. Many Christians don't realize this, man. But when we are saved, first of all, we all can agree that we were born in sin and shaped in iniquity.
Mm-hmm.
We all can agree that even on our best day, our supposed righteousness is nothing but a filthy rag, and in comparison to the Lord. And so, being that we agree on that fact, many people don't realize this. We that are Christians that have chosen to believe in Jesus Christ as our Savior, we actually have two natures. We got the nature that we're born with, which is the one that cuss folk out.
Yeah.
And then we have the other nature, the nature that should not be conformed to the image of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, those of us who have been in education for a long time, we know that the word renewing is something that is continuous.
It's a process.
There you go. It's a process. It's not only a process, but it's something that I got to do every single day. Which means that if this old nature is still a part of me, even though behold, all things become new and all this stuff, I still got a nature inside of me that's a part of my birth. It's a part of my human nature. My human nature is not the same as my spiritual nature. And so if I am ever caught off guard or not fully in tune with that spiritual nature, and let me just go ahead and say it, let me go ahead and be honest and transparent. And I got a boy that's 17 years old, so he getting up there. If he ever disrespect me, it's gonna take
the whole Bible.
Oh Lord, the holy
all
Spirit.
66 books.
It's gonna take the Holy Spirit, Reverend, to hold me and keep me from saying something worse than what Kirk Franklin said.
Or doing something worse.
Or doing something worse.
Come on now.
Let me tell you.
I'm the type of nigga, I will drive to your house. Where you at?
Hey, let me tell you something.
Get out, because I'm from the old school.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with you over no phone.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna cuss you out over no phone and all of that.
Where you at?
Oh, really? I'll say I'll give a new school verbiage to it, and I'll just tell him over the phone, all right, bro, say less. At that point, I done hung up and I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Now, what you gonna read about is not what the pastor said.
It's what you did. Hey, you know what? I'll go ahead.
But I need him to hold me. I need his spirit, because I recognize that aside from him, I'm gonna mess up, man.
Right.
Well, see, the problem with folk is that they want to put a Y in front of that all have sinned. They want to say y'all, knowing good and well, if you'd have knew them a few years ago, some of them last night.
Yes, sir, Reverend.
They just hide it well. See, I preached a sermon before about the fig tree that had the leaves and wasn't producing fruit. We got a lot of folk in our sanctuaries that's got leaves on them and ain't no fruit. And they false advertising.
What'd you say?
False advertising. But we as Christians, we've got to stop acting holier than thou.
I'm looking for offering.
Because that holier than thou act is actually pushing folk away from Christ.
Man.
Because we us church folk, we show up before church, we raise more hell, we all this commotion before devotion, and we wonder why, and we wonder why the seats are empty. And the folk are looking at that saying, take this. If you find some folk under the tree drinking, it may be 10 folk under that tree. They got 1 40-ounce between them. Every last one of them gonna drink out that bottle.
Sharing that same bottle.
But then when you look at the church, it's me, myself, and I. And we raising more hell than a little bit. So the folk are saying, I might as well stay out here and keep doing what I'm doing, than go in there with all the rest of you devils.
And you know what else? You know what else? On top of that, I think we talked about this at the beginning, just briefly. We were raised up, and we, like, all three of us raised at different times. Brooks, you're a little bit younger than us, but we was all raised in a different time still. If we was raised up before 2000, totally different time.
What you 50?
No, I ain't 50. I'm 40 something. 40 something. So now that's all you need to know. So I got 17 gray hairs under my beard. How many you got?
Oh.
So listen, I got
45.
See, he young.
But see,
but watch this. So let me tell you. If we get, somebody got a pit bull back there. So if we
nah, that's my wife's puppy. You looking for a German Shepherd?
You trying to get rid of that puppy. So if we sit up here, and like me, I got boys. I got boys and girls, but I got boys. And I'm not afraid to tell my boys, hey, look, I remember when I was doing that, and this is what happened to me. But guess what I started doing? And this is the conversation I've had. I've had this with my oldest son. He's 22. Matter of fact, he that Kirk Franklin boy. He can get there. He can go there. But see, my patience is a little different. And I hit him with the psychological side, but I ain't never really like talk crazy to him like that. But everybody ain't on that level. That don't tempt me. That don't bother me to talk like that because I don't talk like that. But anyway, I talked to him and said, hey, man, this is what happens. This happened to me. But that's what we not doing in the church. The Bible tells the women, the elderly women, teach the young ladies. The elderly men, teach the young men. Instead of talking about them, pull your pants up. Boy, always walking around with his pants down.
You know, doctors, there's a reason why I believe unchurched folk don't want to have nothing to do with the church. Just like you said, Pastor Brooks, it's because we have created this unrealistic standard.
Yep.
We create this unrealistic standard, and church folk act like they ain't never done nothing. We act like we ain't never sipped of the wrong cup.
So I'm still sipping on the cup.
Reverend,
some of them sipping on more than
look at Reverend. There's some things we need to talk about offline, Reverend.
Some of them, listen. Some of them,
but seriously, you know, there's just this unrealistic expectation, and it creates this thought and this comment that I'm sure both of you have heard before. I'm gonna come to church, or I'm gonna join church, or give my life to God. Look here, when I get myself together.
Well, you never gonna come there.
But here's the deal: because of our actions,
they think they have to be together before they get
there. They have to be at some certain point in order to meet Jesus, in order to receive Jesus, in order to be in the church and operate in the church and all of that, because we've created this legalistic standard of worship and fellowship. And those of us that practice that, I say we, but those of us that practice that are going to have to stand before him one day and answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
All of you so-called church folk that may be watching are going to have to stand and answer for how you have treated people that just want to come into church, but they may not have a 3-piece suit. They may not have a dress that goes below the ankles.
They may not have deodorant.
They may look here.
Yep.
They may smell bad.
Let me tell you some, Pastor. I'm gonna put a pin right there. I have been to places. My dad. I'm gonna tell you about my daddy. I wouldn't get my daddy on here because my daddy gonna send all y'all to hell. Everybody going. He gonna hit you right. He gonna hit you right in the scripture. He gonna grab you. But I'm gonna have to bring him on one day so he can talk. But my daddy has a heart for people, and he would run tent revivals when I was a kid. And I never forget, alcoholics would come under the tent drunk. I'm talking about drunk. Dudes, high, cigarettes, prostitutes, everything, stinking, musty, everything under the tent. You know what my daddy would do? My daddy would bring them to the front and sit them right there and keep preaching. Him and this other man that passed away named Elder Langford. I never forget it. When my daddy started putting up the tent, years after that, guess who would help him put up the tent? Those alcoholics, those drug addicts, them prostitutes. My mama would go and talk to the ladies. Hey, what size dress you wear? What's your shoe size? My dad would ask the man, what kind of cologne you like? What kind of deodorant you? This is what we don't do now because we too busy trying to push them out. And I hate to see it. I tell people all the time, it bothers me if I'm sitting in the church and I see somebody strange come in. I was raised up to see it. So I sit back and I'm gonna tell you, you remember Pastor Harris was your mentor. Remember Pastor Harris?
Yes, sir.
That man loved people. And people, why he always with? Why? You know, and I'm like, you're not understanding. The Bible tells you to do that.
We've moved away from that because nowadays, if it don't look good for television, we don't want to be bothered with it.
Wow, what you say?
And look at Pastor Brooks, you're right. But not only that, but we got a lot of folk that are looking for optics. They're looking for optics, and they want to be on the side of what looks better.
Yep.
They want to be on the side of what looks better. They don't want to be taking a picture and posting on Facebook or being around some people that ain't.
But they take
somebody to talk to somebody that they feel like may be less than them and take a picture and post it on Facebook. We having a meal, we hanging out, whether socially distanced with mask on or not, and just but we want to be, look here, I take a picture if I'm with Ralph West.
We're no longer
concerned. If I'm with some big name preacher,
because they feel like if they're in a circle with those big name preachers, they've achieved something. But you haven't attained anything until you hear those words, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." Hey. If we're modeling Christ wasn't with the rich folk.
He wasn't.
Because even though the rich folk were lost, and he was with the folk that wanted his help.
Exactly. Them the folks that wanted him around. Hey, I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all exactly. I found this video. I've been looking for this video. I'm gonna show y'all this video. This is the video I've been trying to find for the longest. Since we've been on here tonight, I've been trying to find this video, and I have found it. Let me see. I'm gonna have to. I don't know if y'all can see that, but here it come. Here it come. I'm gonna have to blow it up, and then I'm gonna have to fix my shin digger. All right. So this is the video. This is the video I've been talking about right here. Y'all see it? Is it big enough?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the video I've been talking about.
I'm okay for Friday, y'all. Pray for me. The food makes the marks out of God. He doesn't be played with. And food and heart says there's no God, but God is real. I used to come home drunk from school, laying up men out there prostituting, having oral sex with my mouth, licking me in balls.
And you know what? You know how many people laughed at her?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Whole bunch.
But you know what she did? She was transparent. She was transparent. And they laughed at her. She was just telling y'all what the deal was. They laughed at her. And she said what she was doing. And I tell people all the time, I've seen people come to church and do that. Man, I watched a lady running. Watch this. This is the scariest thing ever. I watched a lady. My dad, we went to this church in Hearn, and the pastor passed away. Pastor Elam, Revival Tabernacle, Holy Ghost filled, sanctified. They gonna dance till they get tired, and he gonna preach. And on Saturday night, he say one thing. He said, "Well, I'll see y'all in the morning, if there be a in the morning." It was a scary church. He had a picture of the rapture on the wall of these dead people going up in the air. It was that scary in one of them churches. And this lady runs into the side door with nothing on, literally. And you know what they did? The ushers came from the back. They had them little shawls. They wrapped her up and told her to sit behind the pulpit. She was running from a man. Man was trying to kill her. They locked the door on the side door of the church. The man couldn't find her. They kept the woman at the church. The woman got saved at church, prayed for. The women went and bought her clothes. The lady joined church. What if that happened today? Can y'all tell me what would happen if that happened today?
A lot of them put her out.
They when she come in, what you doing? Y'all get out. The first thing gonna happen. The deacon's gonna.
They're gonna stop the service.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's part of our problem. We allow everything to distract us from Christ.
Yeah.
But when it comes to other stuff, we ain't letting folk distract us from them Cowboys, no matter how much they losing.
Hey man, watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just speaking the truth.
Watch yourself. You gonna have to pay for that one.
No. Well, I talk about myself. No matter how bad my Rockets look right now, every night they on TV, trash. I'm watching them.
You're right. You're gonna watch that trash.
But then when it I'm gonna let him make it since it's his show. But then when it comes to Christ, we let everything distract us.
Everything.
It's raining too hard. We can't have Bible study. It's too cold. We can't meet for this. We anything, but we get up and go everywhere else.
Everywhere.
And
Pastor Brooks, you probably experienced this, especially during this pandemic, especially at this particular time now. You got people that have gotten comfortable watching it on Facebook.
Yes.
Conference call or whatever platforms you use.
Yes.
And they saying that they want to stay home and stay safe. And I respect that.
That's an excuse.
Yeah.
I respect that. But some of these same people go to the grocery store. They go to work every day. And it's just been, okay, well, I'm still going to church because it's normal now for us to go on Facebook. I don't know about y'all, but it's something about entering into the sanctuary of God that's just different than watching something on Facebook. I need to be there.
When we were virtual for a while, I was miserable.
man.
I still delivered the message, but I felt so out of place.
Yeah.
Man, look, it's somebody talked about that one day, and they said, you the missed church. Matter of fact, the church I play for, he said, that's been people I ain't seen them since March 15th of last year. March 15th was when we shut the doors. And when we shut the doors, it's some people that ain't been back because they've gotten complacent.
Watch this. They ain't been back. But then when the pastor don't go check on them or go to their house, for the same reason they ain't coming to church. Yeah, it's a problem.
Look at you. Look at you starting stuff. Because they done you, they done called you, huh? They done called you.
I ain't saying that. I'm just saying. I ain't talking about nobody. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I know she watching. My wife, when they said stay at home, guess what? That's what she did. We stayed at home. Even when I was allowed to come back to the church and play for virtual services, she wasn't going to no store and going to no. She stayed at home. So when they opened the church back up, when she went when she was comfortable enough to go, but I guarantee you, she didn't go. She wasn't at no restaurant. I don't think my wife went to a restaurant until my son's Phil's birthday or something. We went there one time and we saw all them people like, oh Lord.
And let me say this. I'm not talking about everybody.
There's some
people who are just they have some pre-existing conditions and they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, but we're not talking about them.
I'm talking about the ones that are going everywhere else, doing everything else, but won't go to church.
Yeah.
When it comes to church, is I watch it online.
Yeah.
See, I watch it online. I keep my pajamas on.
Basketball game and the football games and all these other, you see, and the crazy part about it is social media. You see folk on social media and they going to this house party and that house party and this restaurant and that restaurant. And then it's like, well, Pastor, I'm watching because I'm still socially distanced.
And then you social distancing, but you sit in a restaurant with no mask on.
Yeah.
But you social distancing.
But you got to work every day, and come on, man.
You ain't got no mask on.
It's different for the ones that just ain't going nowhere, and they simply just staying at home. I'm sensitive to that, and I understand that.
Listen here, tell y'all something. That's why I tell people what's gonna happen. Remember what we talked about, Pastor Hagins, when I was down there? What's gonna happen when they tell you bet not go to church? You bet not. I wish you would. And if you do, we gonna do what we gonna do to you. You can't go. So then people at home gonna be wanting to go, but they ain't gonna have nowhere to run and clean themselves up because they just shut the church down and dare you to go. And them same people sitting at home are the ones that's gonna deny every single being of Christ. We ain't gonna even talk about that, y'all. We ain't gonna even talk about that. Them the ones that's gonna bring you up and sell you out before the man in the synagogue. Them the ones. Oh, they down there having church. They ain't going down there, but they down there. Go get them. They down there. You know.
Well, look here, Mr. Q, and Pastor Brooks. I definitely want to do this again, but since I started this thing off, when I start talking, I talk about being transparent. I'm gonna be transparent right now.
Be careful. Be careful.
No, I'm on. It's tight, but it's right.
Your wife said go to bed.
No, she brought me some Popeye.
Wait a minute, hold wait a minute. Which Popeyes? Which Popeyes? Oh Lord, which Popeyes?
It's right here on my bed.
Which Popeyes?
What you talking about? Which Popeye? I'm right here in Magnolia, so.
You good? You good? Because I had a bad experience at Popeyes today.
No. I don't want to hear nothing about that.
No, it wasn't nothing bad. They just upset my spirit.
Look here, I'm like some of them folks.
You got the 3-time felon in the kitchen.
They only want to hear what they want to hear, Pastor Brooks. I don't want to hear that.
He said, "Don't you mess up his meal?"
Where you going on to eat your Popeyes, man?
Man, we look here. I'm finna taste and see.
Let me see. Taste it for the people to see.
Yeah, I'm finna taste and see, and then
watch him faster. Watch how I eat the chicken. I want to give me some chicken. I don't even supposed to eat no. I've been eating tuna fish and flatbread.
I've been doing that, but today is a cheat day.
Yeah, that's what he say. Today is a cheat day.
and yesterday was too.
Oh wow! You been
probably the day before that too, huh?
You've been cheating all week.
Okay,
before you go,
say it transparent. This is cheat week.
Hey, before you go, seriously, there's some people watching. We gonna put a pin. Tell the people about your company, man, while you're on here.
Oh yeah. I do obviously I'm a pastor, but my living is based off my business, and that is One Air Care. If you can go online, you can look at www.oneaircare.com. And that's the word one spelled out ONE aircare.com. And we specialize in doing residential and commercial cleaning, and also sanitation, sanitization.
And Pastor.
So Pastor Brooks, if you need your church the disinfectant that's been EPA approved to kill coronavirus, and so we spray homes, businesses. We have several doctors' offices, churches, schools, daycares, and things of that nature. Our it's electrostatic spray, and so it grabs whatever surface that is sprayed on, and it just treats the surface. And not just speaking to you, Pastor Brooks, but anybody else that may be watching.
Pastor Higgins, watch this.
In your home, dust starts to settle in your air ducts after just a few hours of non-movement. And when the system powers up, that dust begins to travel all over again, settling on your furniture, clothing, bedding, and floors. And let's face it, in those air ducts, harmful contaminants and microorganisms live there too. Pet dander, bacteria, pollen, mildew, and other pollutants can all impact the air you breathe. That's when it's time to call One Air Care. One Air Care provides you with the air duct cleaning you need and deserve. One Air Care provides services
with people that really love and want to know this Christ much better, instead of us turning people away from Christ. We shouldn't be turning people away. We should be turning people toward him. Right. Our salvation and justification and sanctification is not just something it's not something we earn. We don't deserve it. We didn't work for it. It was graciously given unto us, just like it's graciously available to all of those that are waiting to get themselves together. How dare we turn people away from that? That's all I gotta say, man. I'm
and you know what? Watch this real quick before you go. This is what I was talking about. This man, listen, I truly believe this dude was sincere, y'all. But this became the laughing stock of the world when this happened right here.
That the Lord tonight has set you free.
Yes, sir.
Turn around and tell those people.
Tell them.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love no women. Now listen, y'all praise God with him. Hold on, wait a minute. Somebody believe God with him. Hey!
But y'all know what? I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Even though that was funny, I ain't even gonna lie. If they would have spent less time trying to see if he was serious and more time doing what that man said, he wouldn't be crazy like he is right now. I'm gonna tell you somebody else. Kanye West wouldn't be crazy like he is right now. Kanye West tried to give his life to Christ several times. What do? He ain't real. They laughed at him. He with Kim Kardashian. Okay, who was you with when you found Jesus? Who was you with? You know what I'm saying? Who was you with? And then who else? R. Kelly. He tried his hardest, y'all. R. Kelly tried. I believe if R. Kelly would have been around the right people, he wouldn't be in the position he's in right now.
You know the sad part about that is, Brother Q, when we have to stand before Christ, some of that blood is gonna be on some folks' hands.
That's the bad part.
Yeah.
Because we done sat there and laughed too long. We done poked fun. Just don't say nothing at all. We done poked fun. We done sent them to hell. I told somebody the other day, I said, I'm gonna tell you something. R. Kelly still got a chance to give his life. He know how to do it. If Kanye know how to do it, they know how to do it. DMX was another one. He was reaching out in his songs for somebody, oh, he a drug dealer, gangster, da. Then what he end up being? Alcoholic. A lot of these people trying, we not letting them in. We not, like you say, we not letting them in. We won't let them in. We won't let them in this building right here.
Because they don't fit our criteria for what we think Christians should be.
Talk, Pastor.
And so they don't look like us. Like Pastor was saying, they don't look like us when they come in.
They don't look like us when we come in. That go back to that same thing. We still trying to clean them before we catch them.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell y'all something.
Go ahead on, Pastor Brooks.
I seen the video. Did you see that video? Did you see that video of the man singing at the funeral with the shirt off? And the blood dancing, doing the praise break? And the people, somebody was talking about him, but the other people, guess what? Other people was hey, you know, you praise God. That's probably the only way that dude knew how to dance. They had prayed for him and everything, and he started just blood walking in the church. You know, he was doing his little step, and they was playing, and people laughing. That's what he knew. That's how he came. He came as he was. He got prayed for. That's all he knew. I remember dude breakdancing in church, spinning on his head one time. That's what he knew, but they laughed at him. They told him, you can't do that.
But see, if you get them in and you feed them the word, I'm a firm believer. If the word can't change them, ain't nothing we do gonna change them anyway. If you deposit the word, that dance will change.
Yeah. You know what Mama told my grandma said one day. My grandma, she was, man, bless her heart. This is my grandma teacher. I'm gonna tell you this, Pastor. I know you gotta eat your chicken. My grandma had said, baby, you can take a pig, because we're from the country. You can take a pig, and some of y'all older people know, drop them in some buttermilk, bathe and wash him down real good, shine his skin up, clean him, put a bow in her head. But guess what that pig gonna do if the inside, if his mind ain't changed? That pig gonna still be a pig, and he gonna run out there back in that mud. And you can't teach a pig to be anything else but a pig. So if you, like you say, if you got a person that's coming in, and you can put clothes on them, you can tell them how to walk, you can tell them how to talk, you can tell them, but if you ain't clean the inside, it ain't no good.
Just a dressed up pig.
Yeah, that's it. Dressed up pig. Pastor, go on, eat your Popeyes. We're gonna get off here in a little bit anyway. Go on. Hey, get on out of here. What
Man,
you say?
you all right, man. It brings, and I'll leave you with this. You told the story, man. It brings something to mind that somebody once told me. It was a similar story. Said there was a man that was on top of a hill, and he was on top of the hill, and he encountered a snake that was battered and beaten and very weak. And he told that snake, that snake told him, say, hey, man, I'm not going to bite you, man. Can you please just help me down this hill? I don't have the strength. I can't slide down. I can't climb down. Please help me down. So the man had compassion and grabbed the snake, picked him up, took him down the hill. When he got down the hill, he sat him down. Man said, okay, you're on the ground. He turned and walked away, and he felt the sting. And that was the bite of the snake. He looked at the snake and said, man, you said you weren't going to bite me, and you brought me down the hill, and I brought you down the hill, and I did all this for you, man. I looked out for you when you was weak.
What that snake say?
Why did you bite me?
You knew I was a snake when you picked me up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey,
That's it.
when I was little, that was a song by Slim and Supreme Angel. Said, "Don't touch the snake, or there's a big mistake." Yeah, you can't. Listen, you're right, man, and that's what I tell people. In what we trying to say on this show tonight, in order for us to accept that God forgives, in order for us to accept that, we have to be transparent and we have to forgive ourselves. I'm gonna tell y'all something else too. I'm gonna get real deep with y'all. Guess what? If you ain't forgiving, you going to hell. The Bible said, how you gonna come and pray to God and ask him for forgiveness if you have not forgiven your brother? You gotta first leave that altar and go forgive your brother. Look, and see, a lot of people get this mixed up. Pastor, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. A lot of people get this mixed up because I've seen a lot of people go and they say, man, forgive me, man. Forgive me, man. They run themselves in the ground and say, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. It's not hard to ask a person. It's hard to forgive a person. It's not hard. I can ask you to forgive me all day long. But when somebody asks me, hey, man, forgive me, man, that's what the Bible talking about. Did I forgive that person? And God know your heart. You can walk around here all day long holding grudges, and envy will send you to hell.
Forgiveness is not so much for the other person as it is for you.
Yeah.
Could you got folk that's dead and gone that still got a clamp on folk that's walking around here because they ain't forgave them from stuff they did years ago.
Got control of him. He finna eat that shit. Got
No.
control.
I had to put you on the charge.
But at the same time, where we mess up, we think, or what folk think, just because we forgive them, we got to fool with them again.
And that, let me tell you something, man. Look at here. It's a bunch of dogs, bunch of hit dogs on there finna holler. Listen. Pastor Reverend Donnie Nelson said, Elder Donnie Nelson always say, a hit dog will holler. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of people walking around right now condemning other people because those other people decided to leave him alone. But the Bible say you shake the dust off your foot and you move on. That don't mean you hate them or dislike them. You don't put yourself in those compromising positions. Yeah. If you know that person gonna rub your spirit the wrong way, why you gonna put yourself in that compromising position? Because the devil using them. Like my
if you know he's a snake,
I would say that just and I know where I appreciate and understand where you're going, but just I would say just like this here, my belief is I wouldn't necessarily say people that have a forgiveness issue and that haven't forgiven someone is going to hell, because
No, I was just saying that, Pastor. I'm trying to.
okay.
I'm trying to get them right.
Yeah, because I just you know, if
Scare
they-
tactic.
Make them
they
think
going to
about it.
heaven, but to go along with what you said, if there is a forgiveness issue, there is a great hindrance.
Wow, look at this. Read that right there.
There's a great hindrance.
Read that right there.
Yeah, I like that.
Pastor.
That's the Prophet Giles right there. That's Prophet Giles. That's my brother.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like
But no,
that.
I did that. I did that to get people's attention. But I will say, envy, an envious, a jealous heart, you can't get there.
Nah.
But see, that ties into a lot of people got a jealous heart because they upset at somebody because they haven't forgiven them. That's what I was saying. Because a lot of people get all that clutter up in here, and they got it, man, because they look at you, and you almost have to force yourself to talk to certain individuals because you know they don't like you. But you find yourself.
Reverend, it's like this. My
Yes,
brother.
sir. Yes, sir.
If you got a blockage in the heart,
Going on.
a blockage in the heart
Going on.
cause heart failure. Heart failure
Well,
can cause you to die.
well.
In order for the heart to function correctly, and for life to be prolonged and substantiated, the blockage needs to be unclogged. There needs to be a stent put in somewhere.
I'm gonna sit here like Pastor Brooks.
We need to put in a stent somewhere.
Put in the stent.
Key up the organ. Key up the organ.
What key he in?
In the attitude of transparency.
What key is he in?
No,
Listen.
Stop. Look here. I just believe
About to hear. Sounds like I'm gonna hear some music.
I've had some blockages in my heart over these 40 years.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, but I thank him for the stent.
Yeah.
I thank him for putting the stent.
And you know what?
Deal with that blockage, man, because
people got to pray for that.
That blockage, and I'm gonna tell you, if you're listening tonight, that blockage of unforgiveness, you up. Thank you, Brother Q. But if you fix that thing, if you let Jesus, the heart surgeon, oh my God, come in. He's the ultimate cardiologist. If you like, I'm telling you, Doc, it'll free up some stuff. And it's not just, it's ultimately what waits for us. But let me tell you something. Get them a secret.
Go on, give them a secret.
Go ahead.
Those are the things that's gonna get in here that God can see. They
drive certain people to drugs. It drives them to anger, being in such an angry situation. We just got to reading about some dude killing this baby from spilling some water.
That's correct.
What does history come from?
Yeah.
Forgiveness and harboring will deteriorate us, but hurt another person, somebody else or themselves. Drinking problem, the way they get on a boat, all sorts of different types of things that went in the supermarket yesterday in Colorado and killed a bunch of people. Where does that come from? That's hate. Forgiveness. That's sin.
The one in Atlanta is just
the one in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Racism. All of that stuff goes back to sin and it is a result of how people feel on the inside that manifests itself on the outside. Free yourself today.
Mm-hmm.
Free yourself today. It ain't worth it.
What's in them gonna come out,
man.
Yes, sir. That's some good
stuff. It ain't
stuff,
worth it, man. Look here, when I gave it up and God set me free, man, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick, and we're gonna have to get off here. I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. I remember, and I don't know if y'all ever had this happen to y'all. I've had people in my past that I know we didn't end on a friendly chapter. I've had people that years, I'm talking about years, I'm talking about 15, 20 years ago, that we didn't end on a friendly note. I was upset, probably hated their gut, not hated their gut, but I was upset, not like angry. I didn't like them, but I remembered what you did to me. I remember it. Why you do that? I remember what you did. I remember what you said. I remember how you said it. And I probably said something I shouldn't have said. I'm gonna tell y'all something crazy. And that's why I know I still got a conscience. I remember saying something to a guy one time, this is years ago. And I said it to him. And for years it bothered me. I hadn't talked to him in years. And it wasn't nothing really bad. Like it was just, I felt like I had cussed him out. I told him, you get on my nerves with your ugly self. I never forget it. And this was years ago, y'all. It was some reference to something about the way he looked or something. But I was saying it because I was mad at him. And he was saying something to me, talking crazy. But what I said to him, I felt bad about it. Years down the line, I ran into that cat about 3-4 years ago. Now, mind you, I'm talking about I was like 20-some years old when I said this. I said, hey, man. I said, you remember when we was talking, Matt, back? You know what he told me? He said, yeah, man, I know you was mad. I ain't even worried about it. I said, but I'm going to apologize to you anyway. But he said, you know, that dude had forgot all of, he hadn't even worried about it until he saw me. He said, yeah, man, I remember. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we got to be. You know, them people come back around. But see, God allowed that dude to come back. And it's other people. Here go your chance to get it right. If you feel like you got something wrong, he gonna fix a chance for you to get. But if you just evil and don't care, guess what? If that's the way you want to live, you're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna give you a chance. But if you don't want to get it right with him, it's your choice. It's always your choice. It's your choice. He's sitting right there in front of you. It's your choice to get it right or not. If you don't want to get it right, cool. You know, but I gave you your chance to get it right. You know. But I remember y'all real quick. I remember a pastor telling us about this preacher who had done all these people wrong and all this different stuff. And he was in his bed and he remember seeing these spots. It was a certain number of spots in his head. In his before he died, he was on his deathbed. And as he saw the spots, every time he told him, he said, call this person, see if you can contact this person. See if you can contact. And he had all these spots, and these spots started disappearing. And he said, the spots leaving now. He said, then the spots, they said, once he said the spots were all gone, it took him 2 or 3 days. Once the spots were all gone, he talked to the people he needed to talk to. Guess what? He closed his eyes, took his last breath. He was gone.
Wow.
He had that conscience. But like I said, people, we gotta have forgiveness for people. We gotta not throw people in the pit because they've done things because they're human, not giving them a pass card to abuse God's grace. But guess what? It does happen. So don't put this person over this person. Don't forgive this person and then continue to hold grudges on this person. Because the very person you hold grudges on, either you're going to need them or like the pastor say, it's going to run you crazy in the end. What you got to say, Pastor Brooks, before we get off of him?
Well, that's the thing. We want forgiveness, but we don't want to give it. Or we give it, but we want to put conditions on it. But you got to ask yourself, what if God put conditions on forgiving us?
What if he just decided?
What if he just
you about to open this conversation up, Rev? You
what
to
if
close
what
it out, Rev?
what if he decided, in order for me to go to Calvary, I need y'all to do this.
Watch what I'm finna do to him, Pastor.
In order, there you go. And in order for me to wake you up in the morning, I need y'all to do this.
Well,
It'll be a whole bunch of folk, as they say, up a creek without a paddle.
Yes, sir.
And you gotta be rocking back and forth. You better stop.
I hear your voice changing, Brooks.
It don't take much for me.
I told somebody one time. I said, listen.
I hear your voice changing, Brooks.
He revved it up. So what if God decided? What if he just decided? All right, I ain't gonna look. I'm gonna just you remember what you did yesterday? You remember But where did he throw it? Where does he throw it when he forgive you? Where does he throw it? In the sea well? In the well?
Forgetfulness, Rev.
But we don't.
No. Because as soon as you step out of line according to their guidelines, what you did back in 1976 gonna affect what's taking place right now in their mind.
And it ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
You could have been saved and living with the Lord 20 years and make the wrong person mad. They're gonna remember what you did back then.
Man, listen, y'all got look. I'm gonna have to get y'all off here because boy, y'all finna revive this on Facebook here. Y'all
get a position in the church that somebody else wanted.
Oh Lord.
Talk
about that.
They gonna disqualify them. We better end this thing.
You show better.
Hey, Pastor Brooks, I want to hook up with you, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you on Facebook?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, shoot it to me, and I'll shoot him a text with mine.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But hey, y'all, I'm gonna close with all three of us on here. Listen, I just hope and pray y'all got something from what we said tonight. I just hope if it's somebody out there with an unforgiving heart, learn to forgive. Ask God to give you a forgiving heart because you never know. Like we said, you never know when you need someone to forgive you for what you did.
Yeah.
When you need that grace and compassion for what you did. And don't every time somebody do something, don't continuously throw rocks at them and beating them across the head because they trying to get it right. And if they trying to get it right and you beating them across the head, you're not trying to get it right. That's the problem. So ladies and gentlemen, I just pray. And if you got a problem with somebody tonight, you better call them or text them. You better
forgive them.
Yeah, you better before you go to sleep tonight because it's gonna bother you in your sleep. Yeah, it's gonna bother you. You got envy or jealousy in your heart. Pray it up out of there. Tell y'all. Well,
hey, Mr. Q, real quick, and Pastor Brooks.
Yes, sir.
Should my wife forgive me for buying this suit today?
I don't know, man. Did she tell you not to buy it?
No, she ain't know about it.
I don't know. It just depends on how she feel about it. She gotta forgive you.
Come on now. You talking about forgiveness.
She gotta forgive you, but
yes, she got to, but see, here's the thing. When you do something, we want forgiveness, but there's also consequences to what we did. We forget about that part. Uh-oh,
not the consequences. We forgot to talk about the consequences.
I'm finna eat this chicken.
We're gonna talk about the consequences later. Remember what happened?
I'm gonna do like the rest of them. I'm gonna eat this chicken.
Remember what happened to David? Remember what happened to David and that son he had? All right, we're gonna leave that alone. So anyway,
let it go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have enjoyed ourselves tonight. If you enjoyed yourself, y'all hope y'all shared the video. This is just some talk, y'all. Talk that need to be talked. And I thank Pastor Willis Brooks and in Caldwell, Texas, and Pastor Phil Hagins in Huntsville, Texas. Y'all go down there and visit them sometime. Y'all need to go to church anyway. Stop staying at home, watching the videos, throwing money at the TV, you know, and throwing money at the computer. Go put that money in church. Send them a cash app or something. So anyway, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, God bless y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in with me tonight, y'all. I had fun talking to y'all about the real stuff. But we had some real conversation. Bishop Giles, Prophet Giles, all of y'all that tuned in tonight, I thank y'all for tuning in. We about to get up out of here. Now listen, everybody else, remember next Wednesday, we're going to talk about this school to prison pipeline for real, because I got none other than the great debater himself, George Lee, Conscious Lee, who is a great debater, but also he's an activist, and he's going to come in and talk to us about that. But always remember, folks, I want y'all to remember to stay plugged in. Hey, y'all, we out of here.
You are tuned in to Mr. Q Show. Get plugged in, yeah. You are tuned in to Mr. Q Show. Get plugged in, yeah. It's time to relax from all the hype and grab a cup of the favorite tea that you like. On Mondays and Wednesday nights, don't forget about the Black Business Spotlight. You never know who you might see. It could be anybody, even a celebrity. So enjoy yourself, my friends, cause this is Mr. Q Show. Now get plugged